right, thank you all for joining today. I'm Pradeep Anandapu. I'm part of the product partnership team here at Databricks. Informatica is one of my top partners, and Ajay and I, we jointly manage Informatica Databricks integration roadmap. Ajay?
Hey guys, thank you so much, Pradeep. I'm Ajay GOLLAPALLI. I lead the entire technical alliance from Informatica with Databricks and with Pradeep mainly.
Yeah. So, if you attended our session yesterday, some of this content would be repeat content, but we'll be focusing on certain products, data integration and quality products today. So I'm here to briefly talk to you guys about Informatica and Databricks partnership, how Informatica adds value on top of Databricks from a Databricks point of view, and a glimpse of what Informatica team has been working on from a Databricks integration standpoint. After which, of course, I'll pass it on to Ajay. He's going to show you all the cool stuff, all the cool demos. So, here's the current state of our partnership today. We have more than 160 joint customers. Informatica is the top 3 fastest growing product in Databricks. They won the Data Integration Partner of the Year this year. Please give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
So, how does Informatica add value on top of Databricks, right? You might have already heard about the Databricks Data Intelligence Platform. That's on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, Informatica Data Intelligence Management Cloud. Basically, they offer an end-to-end suite of product capabilities on top of Databricks, enabling no-code, low-code persona who can now leverage the power of Databricks platform. Right, so they have a lot of low-code, no-code persona. These professionals have been trained on Informatica. They can now basically, they're enabled with the power of Databricks platform. Today's session is about these 3 products: data integration, data quality and profiling, and the API and app integration. Ajay is, of course, going to cover additional details about these products, but I'm just going to cover some high-level details from a Databricks perspective. So, Informatica has about, more than 100 integrations to all your apps, data sources, and tools across your enterprise. So with data integration, for example, you can ingest and transform all of your data from these apps, data sources, tools, etc., across your enterprise. That's what you can do. You can ingest the data into Databricks and also transform using Informatica Data Integration product. With data quality and profiling, you're able to centrally manage all of your quality for all of these data sources across your enterprise. We do have quality offerings like lakehouse monitoring within Databricks platform, but an enterprise does have a lot of other platforms across the board, like across all the organizations. Informatica is able to do that, and it's able to provide additional UI flows for you to manage data quality rules or etc. that are centrally managed, right? With API and app integration, of course, it lets you orchestrate, again, across the board, across all of your products across your enterprise. And of course, it integrates with Databricks workflows. So you're able to basically connect that with your products across your enterprise. So now to the product integration roadmap, just want to let you guys know, Informatica is now available on Partner Connect. So we're announcing that actually at this conference. It's GA, which means Databricks users can now seamlessly connect to Informatica Cloud right from Databricks Workspace. When Databricks customers who are new to Informatica, they want to just try it out, they can just click on a tile on Databricks Workspace, right on the Databricks Workspace, and instantly a new Informatica org is created, and they can just try out their CDI product, like data integration product, and the configuration is already built in. So you can try it out today if you guys have access to Databricks Workspace, right? And it's a free tier. Of course, you can definitely expand it to your enterprise tier later on. You can work with the Informatica folks on that. But it's a really good user experience to quickly start it out, right? It's like a 30-second user experience, right? That's how quickly you can spin up these instances, and it's pretty awesome. Give it a try. And coming to the roadmap, of course, Informatica data integration and data quality, both of them now support Unity Catalog, which means you're enabled with these products on your Unity Catalog assets, which was not existing before. This is not too recent, but this is what we have been working on in the past 12 months. You can also now ingest data into something called Unity Catalog personal staging locations, which is going to, of course, move to volumes later on. But what this does is it gives you really like highly optimized ingest capability with Informatica. Cloud data integration now supports push down, which again means you can, the Informatica users are now enabled with optimizations using Databricks Compute. And they're also trying to expand this further to make it native ELT, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more. And then with cloud data quality also, you can now apply and basically you can do profiling and apply data quality rules on top of Unity Catalog assets with shallow profiling, which is also optimized now with pushdown. So you can use Informatica, you can use Databricks Compute for those computations so that your data is not really moving out of your Databricks platform and the computations are happening in place, right? So that's there. And Informatica team, of course, is trying to deepen and expand these integrations across the board, across all the product features that you see, such as, like I said, native ELT, which would further optimize your pushdown capabilities to, I think, more than 300 functions, custom functions within Databricks. It supports all of them. And they're also going to expand it to Databricks volumes, which will give you guys more optimized ingest. They're also going to support Databricks DBRX within the cloud data integration native GenAI capabilities, which I think Ajay might touch upon a little bit today. And of course, much more. We don't have time to go over all of that today. It's a lightning talk. I'm going to pass it on to Ajay. That's my time. Thank you.
Thanks, Pradeep. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey all, if you have been yesterday, we did talk about data governance and data marketplace. So if you think about Informatica, right? Informatica, what we do is, it's as a complete set of microservices from your data journey. Especially when you think about a data journey in an organization, you need to know where the data is. And then you need to make sure your data gets populated, whether it's batch, incremental, CDC, or streaming data. And then to make it sure that your data not only gets populated, but also has to be cleansed and has to be making sure it's available for your consumers, customers, or users, analysts, whoever it is using it, and to govern the data from end to end. Think about like from where the data comes in the end to end, OLTP systems to the OLAP systems like Databricks, what Databricks provides analytics space, and to provide a master data management, to provide a golden record, one single golden record. All of these are different microservices in the Informatica's Intelligent Data Management Cloud. We support almost 92 trillion transactions a month data gets processed. So we curate all the metadata information so that we have an engine called Claire. Claire is our AI engine. What it does is it automatically understands based upon the data you are sending it, understands your metadata, and then is able to process through these microservices, whether it's a data catalog, whether being governance or being integration or quality, and then the marketplace and the governance, everything is being processed through Claire. Informatica also, right? We think about it, over the last 30 years, data has changed a lot. Data used to be flat files. I used to be a COBOL programmer when I started my career. And it used to be flat files and then moved to RDBMS, then went to become SOAP envelopes, XML files, and Parquet now, and then tomorrow we do not know what might happen, right? So we kind of support all the different systems, different formats, different transportation mechanisms, all the different destinations for your organization. So what are the data is, if you're being from CRM systems, or whether it's Salesforce or Dynamics, or whether you're going from ServiceNow, we can write everything into Databricks for doing analytical purposes. With this, right, I also want to talk about the architecture 1 minute. So when you have multiple data, whether it's an on-prem environment, or is it the enterprise systems, or streaming, or is it like your SaaS solutions or hybrid solutions, you're able to move the data through mass ingestion, what we call as replication mechanisms. It is our cloud data integration replication mechanism where you can replicate the data into your Databricks. And once it's in Databricks, whether it is in the Delta layer or in the SQL layer, we can process the data through data quality, apply quality rules on top of it. Today we'll see it in the demo in the next second. And then along with it, we provide the data integration capabilities to make it ready for analytical purposes. And along with it, we start with governance, we end with marketplace, which is what happened yesterday. Now we are doing this inside the box, take the data, make it ready for analytical purposes. Let's see the demo right now. So this is Informatica's homepage. When a user logs on, they will be able to see the homepage, and you will see the different varieties of applications possible within the Informatica. So most often users start in the connections. First time when you want to set up a connection, we support various connection capabilities, as I said, and let's create a new connection. And again, it's all happening live, so if it is a slowdown, blame it on the internet, right? So when you create a connection, what happens is you're going to configure which Databricks server you want to connect to using your JDBC mechanisms, and which Unity catalog you want to configure it to also. So for example, we call it the Databricks, and then when you set up the Databricks, these are the list of around like what are the 250 plus connectors I was talking about. These are the connectors, and we can go to Databricks. And then in the Databricks connection, you'll be able to specify saying what is your runtime environment, whether you want to do it in online, whether through the cloud or whatever it is. I'm just going to say something right now. And then you can fill your JDBC URL here. You can say JDBC Databricks / whatever the warehouse compute cluster is. You can specify the cluster, and you can specify the catalog name, and you can give a PAT, personal access token. We can integrate it with Databricks. Now it takes only 3 parameters, right? To create a connection, you need your warehouse URL, you need your PAT token, you need your catalog name. Boom, you are now connected with Databricks. There are some customers who want to do advanced mechanisms. For example, what we did is, by default, we supported personal staging location. As Pradeep said earlier, right, we support personal staging location by default. But there are some customers who would like to have their AWS bucket or Azure containers to be part of them for the staging purposes. They can also go and configure it over here. So these are different configuration mechanisms depending upon where your organization, enterprise, how do you want to configure it. Informatica provides you the kind of experience so that you are not stuck with one thing, but you are able to use multiple options that Databricks provides. So once the system is once its connection is made, the next immediate step is to move the data, right? Talked about CDI, the replication mechanisms, where now we catalog the data. Let's say, for example, we are taking the data from a point A to Databricks itself. So that ingestion, today I'm going to show you is the data ingestion task. Normally, if I find my cursor, I will be able to do it. Okay. So normally you can specify how many hour ingestion tasks you need. There are you can ingest files, you can ingest applications like SaaS applications, and you can ingest databases, you can ingest streaming data, right? So depending upon it, you can create an ingestion, and then you'll be able to specify what ingestion, where is the source coming from, and then where is the destination. So this is the source, it's coming from a SQL server, and it's going to Databricks Unity Catalog, and you're going to create a table. So you have to click run, and then you can schedule it, whether you want to do it once, whether you want to do incremental, whether you want to do it on full shot, and whether you want to do it CDC, or whether you want to do it in a continuous batch mode or nightly mode. You can configure it however you want it. It provides the flexibility of the system itself. And once your data is in the Databricks ecosystem, right? Once it's in the Databricks tables, the next obvious step is to profile the data. You want to understand how this data looks like. So you can configure a profiling application, and you can specify saying I want to profile the data. And when you profile the data, it will provide you a mechanism where you can specify which table you want to profile it from. So for example, you can create a profile, and then you can profile it saying I want to create a Databricks table, and you can say, and automatically you created only one connection. Remember this, there's not multiple connections per service. You have created one connection underlying for the entire data journey itself. So that provides you saying I want to connect to the system, I want to create a Databricks connection to the table, and I'm going to specify saying what table I need, and I'll say I want a customer table, and I can say next. Automatically all the rules filled out. But here is the advantage. We are not enabled CLAR insights. The moment you enable CLAR insights, what happens is CLAR takes over understands the metadata information, because a name, if you think about it, a name coming from a CRM system most likely be a customer name. a name coming from a HR system is most likely going to be employee name, but it's still a name, right? So Claire automatically understands based upon the system it is getting the information, and it knows what kind of rules and what kind of governance you need to have for improving the quality of your data itself. So that's what Claire provides, and we can run all these things on the different parameters. I'm going to cut short here, and I'm going to back to show you what a profile looks like when it runs. So you'll be able to see the profile, and it will show you different statistics saying how much of null values are there, how much of data is skewed, how much of data is fit for your analytical purposes. Let's say you're writing a machine learning model inside the Databricks notebooks. You need to know what is the volume of data that is trustable, so that you can make your data is not only just trusted because you know the source, it's also of high quality. That's the most important, paramount importance. So when you do all these things, you see these insights now. These insights are automated rules coming from Claire. It provides based upon the data that I have, it generated all these rules. Sometimes as a user, some rules make sense, some rules I don't want it. I don't care about having a employee name filled in or not, because I know employee name is always filled in, there will be no junk values. And customer names is not going to be filled in. So I need to know what rules are possible, what rules are not possible. I can approve and reject it based upon the industry, based upon my organization needs and my business needs. I can approve or reject, I can do whatever I want, I can add more rules if I want to too. So that is what we are going to see next, is where I am going to add rules, and you can specify data quality as an application, and then you can create more quality rules. There are multiple quality rules possible. You can have your own. Based upon rule specification, you can say I want to create a rule that says how is the data, what is the filter conditions for my data is. And sometimes you want to say I want to have a verifier, I want to have a labeler, I want to have a cleanser. You can do all these mechanisms inside the data quality itself. So once you have the data quality ready, all that now you have to do is hook up this data quality rule on your data to say, like for example, if I'm getting a list of customer names, I want to have a cleansing rule. I put a cleansing rule on top of it, define the cleansing rule, and you pop it up, and then you can do the transformation. So automatically when the data goes from your CRM system towards Databricks, it's cleansed, and you can apply the rules within the Databricks as an ELT approach, where automatically your data is not being moved out of Databricks itself. So for example, when you're doing ELT, the advantage of ELT for a customer is your data is not being moved in multiple places. It's all inside Databricks. You're applying transformations on top of Databricks. Now with native ELT that we are introducing, you can run all these things as part of the natively within Databricks itself. So for example, what does it look like to have an integration or mapping component, right? So I know I have only 1 minute and 28, so I might speak a little faster. Let me know, stop me and ask me more questions after this if you want. So this is a simplistic view of what a mapping component looks like. You can take your data and you can specify what is the source, where is it coming from, and what are the different rules that I want to apply for my data. I want to apply some filter conditions, I want to do some aggregations, I want to make it look like, make ready for analytical purposes so that I can run my predictions on top of targets. And then I can eventually store that in the target in a Databricks table, wherever the destination is. So this is a practical example of how does it look like. And we also have a ELT option where you can see what the query that runs behind the scenes. So when you run this generate SQL query, you can see what is behind the scenes, and you know how the experience and what kind of transformations happen it. Now in the next month release, what we are doing is also, this is our latest version, and we are releasing our ELT mapping designer, where you can have Databricks as a target ecosystem, and we can specify within the Databricks what is the connection, and automatically it provides a mapping ELT. And you can say I want to have a mapping SQL ELT where there are 300 plus functions that are coming out in the market. So everything is going to be in the next month release that will be available for customers who want to use ELT as a main option itself. So with this, what we did is we just recently worked on a RAG based architecture format with the DBRX, and we took our CDI and all these trusted data sources, and we created something called as the Informatica Metadata Intelligence. This metadata intelligence provides you a mechanism where, as a customer, when you have an enterprise system, you want to take data. For example, let's say user A can see only a certain set of data, whereas user B can see other set of data. They will be able to apply the rules on top of it, and they know exactly based upon who is the authenticated user coming into the system. They will know what data they should be seeing and what data they should not be seeing, all based upon a single front-end application too. So application determines, the RAG chain determines which user, what kind of a data, whether it is possible to see, everything is being taken care of in this architecture itself.
I wanted to add something here. So remember I was talking about these hundreds of connectors that Informatica has. You can now get all that enterprise context into your RAG chain by using this architecture, which is extremely powerful. So it's like right off the bat, you got all your enterprise data context through a RAG chain that you built on Databricks using ABRX. You can leverage that today. So, and Ajay built a really cool demo. You might want to check it out. He uses MDM for it, which is basically where enterprises store their golden records. So yeah, you should check it out.
Yeah, pop into the Informatica booth. I can show you the demo, what we built. It's amazing. You can have an interactive conversation with the product itself. It tells you what products you need based upon what your choices are. That's all I have for today. Visit us. There are a lot of available information for you to learn. Please go ahead and look at the websites, and you can reach me out at any point of time.
Yeah. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for joining us.